Hi there. Thank you so much for listening to this audio. If you like my videos and would like to support the channel, you can like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to help out even more, I have a Patreon page and a donations page. I also take commissions. For more info on that, you can reach out through Instagram. All of these things are genuinely appreciated so much. And without further ado, enjoy the video. Yeah. Jesus, coming. Oh. I'm so sorry. Welcome. Oh, wow. Hi there. Excuse me. May I ask, what you are looking for? Oh, gosh, of course. Yeah, oh no, come on in. You are actually my very first customer of the month. The month just started, yeah. Well, come on in. You can go ahead and sit down, do whatever you want. Would you like, anything to drink, maybe? I have some water, but I also have some, denatured alcohol, 70%. It's supposed to be better for mechanical organs. Yeah, helps against rust. Just some water. Alright, that's fine. I have some right here. Pre-filtered, of course. There you go. Right. Well, welcome to the studio. My name is Serinche. I'm still settling into the neighborhood. Watson, Little China. Always lived in Watson, but, well, I really only could afford the studios in Little China. They're, of course, a little cheaper here. But I assure you that the operation that was in here before has been thoroughly cleaned out, and the entire place has been sterilized in order for it to be a suitable ripper operation. I'm glad you came to me. How'd you find me? Oh, of course. Yeah, the sign outside. It's pretty obvious. Oh. Yeah. Right. I do wonder, why did you choose for Serinche Studio and not the competitor? Victor. Of course. Well, it's only natural to want to check out the new stuff, but for some reason I feel like you might have an ulterior motive. Could I be right? You see, Victor, he's a good man, but he's just a little too soft. A little too moral. You know, you need someone that can do some things off the books. Sometimes you just need someone for a job that requires someone not to judge. Yeah. You know, you go to Victor for the decent stuff, and when you get the best prices for the most exclusive and best stuff, you go to me. Seriously, I have mostly blood-free hardware and mostly virus-free software for a very soft price. Almost as soft as my hands. Seriously, though, those things are my pride and joy. Keep them gloved up all day, except for when I'm operating. So all this skin-to-skin contact is the silkiest, softest thing you have ever felt. Right. Well, anyways, what are you looking to get done? I'm assuming you don't just want to look around. Oh, okay. That sounds like you want to get a lot done. That's risky. I like it. But, do you have the money? Oh, you do. Okay, well, customer is king, I guess. So, let's go ahead and sit down, and we can go. Allow me to just get my glasses. Let's see. I fit right here. Right. So, I have the document right here. I made it myself. Isn't that just pretty? With all the silver lining and the cute little font. I had a designer work on it with me. It's actually a good friend of sorry. I'm getting off track here. So, pretty form. Let's go ahead and look at it together, okay? Good. So, first of all, we're just going to go ahead and tick off all the boxes of what you would like to get done, and then we'll move on to the next part. So just go ahead and tick all of those. Oh, my immune system is already ticked. Well, you see, your body needs to be able to handle the extra rust, and perhaps, some parts may or may not have been in a different host before ending up in my warehouse. Meaning that sometimes they still have remnants of this host still on them, and of course I thoroughly clean all the things that I receive, but not every mechanical part is easy to clean, especially not when dealing with biocompartments or chemicals. So, just to be ahead of that, and to make sure that your body is going to be able to handle all of the extra little spice, I'm just going to boost up your immune system a little bit. The effect will only be 3 months, and after that, your body will probably have already processed all the little extra gifts that came with your new parts, and you won't be able to feel a thing. Alright? Good. And don't worry at all, because this is a part of the parts that I supply, it is completely free of charge. So, immune system, we're gonna do point blank. If you'd like, I could also patch your nervous system for a little bit. For any transitional pains that you might experience while your bio body is getting used to the new mechanical parts. Oh no, that one will cost extra. It's it's called the pussy fee. It's because of the anesthetic, of course, and it's gonna cost more. Right. Well, you can go ahead and think about that. I don't think it is gonna be necessary if I'm looking at you like this. Right? You seem like you could tough it out. Well, anyways, let's see what you ticked here. Alright, so we've got arms, frontal cortex, and a circulatory system. Perfect. Alright, now let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the form. So right here, if you could just write down and tick off all the parts of your body that you have already had modified or altered, or that you've had surgery on, just anything invasive or non-natural that has been in or around your body, I would like for you to write that down, plus any allergic reactions you've had in your life specifically to certain metals, because then I know which metals to avoid. You can go ahead and write that down for me. Right, and then take off which parts of your body they have been. You can, if it's easier for you, just draw a circle around it on the little drawing of a body right next to it. Okay. That's it? As far as you're aware, right? Well, nowadays with all those raiders looking to scavenge parts and rip parts out of people, you never know. Not that I'm in a position to judge, but hey. Anyways, alright, perfect. Now, there's just one last thing before we can get started, and that is for you to sign right here. Now, what this says is if you wake up or at any point during the operation and or treatment, you switch over to cyberpsychosis, I am legally allowed to euthanize you. Now, don't worry, this has never happened before. And just looking at you right now, you don't seem very mechanical. I don't see a lot of upgrades, and from what you ticked, I'm not too concerned. But you are getting some major upgrades in quite a lot of important body parts. So just to be sure, we always have everyone sign this. Yeah, so if you could just take that off. Perfect. Great. Well, I'm excited to get to work on you. So, the first thing we're going to do is the assessment. And I saw you mostly circled your neck, arms, torso, just anything above the waist that you have had modified before. So, could you go ahead and take off your shirt for me? Oh. Oh, wow. Fuck. I'm sorry. No. It's nothing. It's just my, female hormones getting in the way, that's all. So, right. If I'm looking at the form, let me look at the form. Alright, okay. So you already have reinforced bones. Let me check. It's titanium? Perfect. Okay, that's great, because if you didn't have reinforced bones, you would have very limited options when it comes to the arms upgrades, because some of the machinery I have is so powerful that if you use it with your natural bones, they would shatter. So having reinforced bones is already perfect. Do you remember where they made those incisions? No? Okay. I'll go ahead and look for those in a second so I know if there's any scarring I should be aware of. And there was... alright. I see you ticked on the back of your neck. Now that one's going to be important because you want to mess with the circulatory system. Could I have a look maybe? Alright. Now I'm going to ask if it's okay to touch you. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. If anything hurts at any moment, just let me know. Okay. I see. So, this looks like the scar of a... Right, that was something in the nervous system, right? A spinal implant, was it? What happened there? Because it looks like it's from two different dates. You have one side that's more faded than the other. Oh, okay. You had a temporary spinal implant for some chronic pain you were dealing with, but you got it removed. May I ask why you had it removed? Oh. An infection in a spinal implant. Oof. Those are rough. Well, you're lucky to be walking around here, buddy. Well, I'm glad for you, I guess. Alright, great. Okay. So we've got the bones, we had a removed spinal implant. Do you still have any pains from that? No? There were no further complications after you had it removed? Okay, perfect. Great. Now, let's see if I can find anything else. Just gently gonna be touching you, feeling if I can find any implants or subdermal alterations. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, looks like you're all good. I wonder what kind of work you do to have this little alterations. But hey, I guess some people like to stay natural. Oh. Wait. No way you... Oh, it's none of my business. Although, with those looks... I'm sorry, I'm not here to judge. It's not as if my business is 1,000% ethical. But that's what you're here for, right? Good prices and someone that will shut up. Exactly. Alright. So, now that we have gotten the assessment done, I suggest we get started on your arms. Yep, seems like a good starting point. Usually, pain is very low scale on the arms, so you'll be able to warm up a little. Assuming you still don't want to do the nervous system patch. Good. Alright. So, let's go over what I have in store right now. Let me take a look. I think I have quite some interesting stuff. Is there anything particular that you are looking for right now? You just want to do some extra damage, and perhaps would you like for it to be of use in everyday life as well? Just day-to-day, normal. It doesn't have to be. Okay. Well, I suggest mantis arm blades. Oh, they are the prettiest things. I have some carbon titanium mixture that it's been on the shelves for ages, and it's just such a waste because it's a beautiful piece. It has these stunning 20th century stylistic engravings, and it's just the best, truly. You want to see them? Oh, you'll take them. Well, that's perfect. I'll go ahead and explain them a little further to you. So, the mantis arm blades are actually way superior over a lot of arm upgrades. Now, most of your arm upgrades, your usual ones, will have the power station near the shoulder or near the bicep, making them more bulky, and usually they'll be able to pack a punch more, but they are less tactical, and they throw off your balance when throwing a punch a lot, making them very, very inaccurate, and personally, I'm not a fan of them, especially the way they look. Ugh, so bulky. Now, the mantis arms attach at the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. So it has 3 attachments, and in the middle of those it has a couple more screws, but you don't need to worry about those. Those are just technicalities for me. Now, because of those 3 attachments, it can drive more power from the middle of the arm, aka the elbow. The elbow isn't a big part of the arm, as you can tell, but because of the wrenching motion it can make, the motions and the extension of that part, especially the lower arm, makes for a very, very effective weapon, especially blade, which is what these are. They are basically lower arm extensional blades from which you can slice. And they are just the prettiest, perfect things. Truly, where art meets function. And these are limited edition. You know, you'll see a mantis blade arm here and there, but not like this. Trust me. You want to know why? Well, I actually make all of my own parts. Naturally, I get them in from our supplier, and then I scrunch a bit for them myself where I can. But usually you won't be able to find whole parts, and when you do, well, they may be damaged or something like that. And you gotta patch them up. You gotta take them all apart and remake them. So by making all of them myself, I always add my own little touches to my upgrades. You know, I put engravings. Perhaps I'll give them a new coat of paint. Make them, dip them in a new metal. Give them extensions. Power them up. Give them a few extra little parts. They're just all such beauties and unique. You won't be able to find any of this anywhere else, not even outside the borders. And the plus side to this is, if anything ever breaks, I'll know exactly how to put it right back together. It's a repair guarantee. But you need to come to me. I can do it for free, most of the time. If you don't lose any of the major parts, I'll just put it right back together the way it was. Don't go to anyone else, though. They'll just mess up my work, and it's going to cost you even more. Okay? And I'll get very angry. All right. So, let's get started, right? So, first things first, I'm going to make some incisions in a few important places in your arms. So it's going to be wrist, elbow, and then shoulder are the main places. So I'm going to do 2 in the elbow, 2 in the shoulder, 1 in the wrist, and then in some midway places too. So that's going to be 1 in your lower arm and 1 in your upper arm, right next to the bicep. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw those out for you first. Just, there we go. So those are the places that screws are going to go. Now this is a very handy system, so I'm going to be able to alter any lengths without needing to re-incision or re-screw or cut anything still. So we're just going to work with your body instead of against it. That way the machine is also just going to function as well as possible with the way you want to use it. Okay? Good. Now I'm going to go ahead and start with the incisions. Now, this is going to sting, but you really shouldn't be able to feel anything more than a sting because the surgical knife is very, very sharp. So make sure not to move. Yeah, right. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to lay your arm flat, palm up. Good. Now just take some deep breaths. There you go. Just in and out. Perfect. All right. So let's see. Okay. Right. So keep your arm completely relaxed. Just keep breathing. If you need to tap out, let me know, but I will judge you for it. Alright. So I'm going to start with the first incision. This one's going to be pretty small. Okay, perfect. How was that? Doable? Okay, perfect, because the other ones are going to hurt more because I need to cut through some more deep layers of skin until I hit your bone. Right, because I need to be able to reach the part where I can screw them in, you know? Okay. So this is going to hurt a little more. You can close your eyes if it helps, or look away, or maybe just look at me. Sure. Perfect. Good job. Very good. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the last one. That's really going to hurt. And the other one she won't be able to feel at this point. Okay. Perfect. Lovely. Good job. And now you can keep your eyes closed while I do the last two. Great. Good job. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the system for you right here. There. Okay. Now it has a click system. So I'm going to go ahead and first screw these parts in. There we go. Sorry for that little bump there. Okay. Okay, those feel pretty tight. I'm gonna go ahead and pull on them tightly. Yeah, you're gonna feel that. It's gonna feel a little weird, okay? 1, 2. Yes, that one's good. The other one. 1, 2. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and attach the mantis arms here. Okay, so these are just gonna go ahead and click in place, okay? Okay. How does that look? That's stunning, right? Fuck. I have to admit, the way you're bleeding, the way you look right now, is a lot. Maybe I should come up with a pretty discount. 'Cause fuck, you deserve it. Alright. Let me tighten some of these extensions for you so it will fit more properly. Okay, perfect. So how does it feel? Feels good? Alright. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and test all of them out after all of your procedures. Okay? We're gonna have to move on now. Okay. So, next thing on the list is your circulatory system. Right. So, what most people have to offer for the circulatory system isn't really that exciting, but I have some pretty exciting stuff. Now, before we actually do those, I also have some other stuff that you'll probably need. So, the fun things I have are chemical compound pumps, CCPs. Now, these CCPs attach to a major artery and they will pump specific chemicals through the little cartridges that you can attach, and you will just get those chemicals directly into your system. It takes seconds for them to take into effect. It is perfect. Now, usually these CCPs get used, or I want to say abused, by drug addicts or something like that, just straight people, because they're very, very easy to just get cartridges with, certain illegal substances, even alcohol. I think it's such a waste. So what I've done is I have repurposed these to be more tactical and useful, actually. So in order to use them properly for the attachments and cartridges that I offer for CCPs, you will need some silicone reinforcement in your veins, especially surrounding the heart, because the chemicals that I offer that make these so useful also have the ability to increase your heart rate to very dangerous levels, But with silicone reinforcement of the veins and the arteries and specifically the heart chambers, you will be completely fine. Some people suggest a pacemaker for this, but in my experience, they are not needed as long as the silicone is applied properly, which I assure you, I will make sure of that. I don't want to be responsible for any chemical leakage inside of your pretty bio body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you these specific supplements, and those will help with the siliconization of some of your major veins. So these are just very easy. You're going to want to take these for the first 2 months of having the CCP, and then whenever you want to use a new cartridge, I suggest taking these pills for like a week, and you'll be taking them every 24 hours. Okay? It's very important to do that, otherwise you're screwed. But you're doing that yourself, okay? Good. Now, I'll give you just plenty of these. I'll give you enough for the amount of cartridges you'll buy, and I give them with every purchase of a chemical cartridge for a chemical compound pump. So I will tell you about the amazing chemicals I have in stock right now. So I have your normal adrenaline, right? Which you can find that on the streets as well. They're not as common. And adrenaline junkies, although they do exist, they don't usually administer adrenaline through chemical compound pumps. This is majorly just for that little extra boost if you need to fight or anything like that. So you can keep the cartridge in, and whenever you need it, you just press the little button underneath the pump and it will administer the preferred dosage. You can make sure that you either get a cartridge that's the right amount, or you set your pump to a specific amount of mLs and you'll be fine. But if you want something a little more spicy than adrenaline, I have loradrino. No, loradrino is a chemical I managed to get my hands on, and it is very rare. Let me guess, you've never heard of it? Exactly. So loradrino, it actually mimics the chemical structure of adrenaline for your adrenaline receptors. So it functions as an adrenaline, but it's like adrenaline on steroids. You basically become a Hulk on this stuff. It is crazy. There's, I think, some testosterone mixed or added in there. There's some other stuff. And the loradrino compound, right? So, this was a chemical that has been created from experiments done hundreds of years ago, but the government decided to halt the experiments, that they weren't safe for soldiers or the police force, so they got rid of all of it, all the loradrino. Well, almost all of it, because clearly I managed to get my hands on some. And I've been trying to recreate it, but I do still have the pure chemical on hands, which I am diluting with a little bit of normal adrenaline, so it's not as strong as the pure loradrino that they used for the experiments, which should, in theory, lessen any negative side effects, because I do remember it contributing to a very high case of cyberpsychosis, because it would act within the circulatory system and attack mechanical and biomechanical parts. It was just basically a whole mess. But mixed in with normal adrenaline, it's pretty much safe. You know what? I'll go ahead and just install the CCP. I'll give you some normal adrenaline cartridges, and then I'll give you a sample of the loradrino, and you can try it out because this shit is amazing. Now, the chemical compound pump, I'm gonna go ahead and attach that to your neck artery. In my experience, it is the easiest to manage and to just, it's easy for access, it's easy to, you know, put in any settings or alter a dosage or switch out the cartridges. You don't need to mess with it too much. It's very easy. It's one of the safer places, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and attach it to your neck artery. Could you go ahead and tilt your head to the left for me? Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on your right side, assuming you are right-handed. Yes, okay, perfect. Now, what I'm gonna do again is I'm gonna make another small incision in the right side of your neck in the main artery. Now, this sounds very scary, but don't worry. It's gonna be plugged in like half a second. You won't even notice, okay? Good. Alright. So don't move, because if I slice this open any further, you are fucked. Alright. 1, 2. Oh, okay. Shh. There you go. See? Okay. Ooh, you look a little pale. Oh, baby. Did that hurt? Did that scare you? Oh. You're too pretty to look so scared. It's okay. You know what? Maybe you could use some of that adrenaline right now. I'll go ahead and put in a cartridge for you right now. I have some laying around. Okay. So this is gonna snap right in there. Okay. And that attached. And then I'll just... Alright. There you go. Now that feels better, doesn't it? No, your whole facial expression just melts. Perfect. Alright. Now the bleeding has almost stopped. Good for you, but honestly a little too bad for me. I have to be so honest. Seeing you sit here in my chair without a shirt on, bleeding from the arm, the shoulder, and the neck. God, it's ravishing. You smell so nice too. Metal upon metal. It's perfect. Alright. Before I lose myself, let's move on to your frontal cortex upgrade. So, I have the normal stuff, right? Like your CSA or FDI. It's just the normal stuff for frontal cortex upgrades. The stuff you can buy in any ripperdoc store. But if you want to take the risk, I have something in the back. Because you seem like the person that would be okay with taking that risk. You want to know? Oh, puppy. You always look a little drugged from that adrenaline. Well, whatever. So, I can't tell you where I got this from. It's completely new software. Supposedly, it's from across the border. Now, I'm not sure how heavy it is on the brain, because I couldn't test it without risking damage to the actual device or software. So what I've done is I have installed a cyberpsychosis failsafe. Now, the way this one works is it is this tiny, tiny addition to the hardware on the side, where if it notices an overloading of your circulatory system or your cortex that is basically going through overdrive, if it feels too many electrical synapses just firing, way too many, there's a max that I put in there that's like the standard for cyberpsychosis. It will also help against normal psychosis, but I don't feel like you're someone that's suffering from that. So when it realizes that that is happening, what it will do is it will actually shut down your brain temporarily. So it just shut the entire thing off. Basically, it will feel as if you faint or as if you just go to sleep. So this happens to prevent the aggression that is linked to cyberpsychosis, because that is where most of the criminal cases come from. It is violence related to cyberpsychosis. Cyberpsychosis in and of itself isn't necessarily going to cause violent outbursts, but it can. And when it does, that's when it becomes very dangerous and illegal. So to prevent the violent outbursts, so this is basically treating the symptoms, not the underlying cause. You will just reset until it notices your brain is okay again, it stopped firing the extensive amount of synapses, and then you will wake back up because it will reboot. So after that happened, you'll have noticed, oh boy, I blacked out, I got rebooted, I need to get checked for cyberpsychosis. So you can get some parts removed and you can do it in peace, right? So I did that to just make sure that this untested, extremely new, fancy little frontal cortex upgrade isn't going to put your whole system in overdrive. And if it does, you'll be okay. It comes in handy for sure with the amount of things you're getting done today. Alright. You want it, don't you? Perfect. Well, you can have it, but I want some exchange, you know? Now, I know you are pretty high on adrenaline right now and probably some other pain-related chemicals and hormones, but what do you say you stay around after the operation? You know, that way I can monitor you while you're sleeping. I can ensure that all of the parts are working properly. We can even give them a test drive. You know, I've heard that certain activities on loradrino is gonna feel the best that it's ever felt. Wouldn't you like to try that? Because, goddamn, working on your body like this is driving me insane. I just need to have a taste. So, if you stay over, I'll give you the part for a friendly price. And you'll have free surveillance. You know, aftercare. I'm sweet like that. So what do you say, huh? You agree? Perfect. Well, I saved this one for last because you'll need an anesthetic. I'm not gonna poke around in your brain and see what happens to the rest of you. I'm cruel, but that's just sad. Alright. Now, I have this cloth. You can go ahead and breathe in very deep. And hold it. 1, 2, 3, and out. Very good. Again. In. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, and out. Perfect. No. Night night, sweetheart. Perhaps I'll take a look at a little more than just your pretty brain.